Hey gang, it's JC and this is your Daily Dose for Friday, August 20th, 2010, a cooperative venture with Mind Active in beautiful downtown Brentwood. Archives, top of the page, we have all of your eye candies right along the bottom of this screen. Dave Murray's weather forecast and an opportunity for you to download on iTunes the audio of the Daily Dose. We're available on your mobile phones too, so let's roll on here with our 15-month paid vacation. I'm on baboon watch right now. I'm going to tell you, I know at least one 14-year-old girl who isn't going to be coming out of the house anytime soon. Mid-America Airport in Mascoutah. 75 jobs coming in out there, huh? Excuse me. Pedro Feliz coming in from Houston. Should be in uniform and playing for your St. Louis Cardinals tonight. Not so good offensively since 2008. But I take my hat off, literally, today, to the St. Louis Cardinals for understanding that they needed help. And if they were serious about making a pennant run in 2010, they got to do something. And so let's give this guy the benefit of a doubt. Let's see what happens when he shows up here. Maybe his career will be a little rejuvenated, all right? Got a lot of email yesterday and this morning from people who said, congratulations, JC, you were right again. Mark McGuire and his lawyers were the smart ones in this entire steroids scandal, because McGuire might have blown his image and his public relations with that whole I'm not here to talk about the past thing, and his refusal to cop to the idea of steroids in front of the Senate subcommittee that was investigating a couple of years ago. But the feds aren't after him the way they are after Barry Bonds and now Roger Clemens. Roger Clemens facing up to 30 years in prison if he's convicted. He's still maintaining his innocence, by the way. And they say, by the way, if he was convicted, it'd probably be more like 15 to 21 months in jail. Barry Bonds, by the way, goes on trial in March, which is something that I'd sort of lost track of and some people were asking me about. And again, it's not the steroid use, you know, it's not the HGH use, it's the cover-up, it's the lying that got Roger Clemens into trouble. When are people going to figure this out? But it's also more. Because when you are holding yourself to a higher standard and you're saying, hey, look, you know, I'm having these great numbers in the twilight of my career because of my workout regimen and I work harder than anybody else and look at me, you know, I'm pumping iron all the time. And you say, no, I'm squeaky clean even if everybody else is dirty. And then you turn out to be, you know, something other than squeaky clean. That's even worse. The orchestrated deception of all of us. And this is as opposed to a guy like Nolan Ryan, who spent quite a few years down in Texas also, who did do the work and was never accused, and never would be accused, of using any performance-enhancing drugs. Then you toss in the Mindy McCready story on Roger Clemens, and the more I find out about that, it is just so incredibly sleazy. Have you seen Roger Clemens' wife, by the way? Holy crap, she's gorgeous. And she's no spring chicken anymore, and she still looks great. And this Mindy McCready thing, I mean, it started when she was like 15 years old at some karaoke bar. He's flying her all over the country. All this. I mean, Roger Clemens is looking like one big dirtbag this morning. All right, the government a few days ago gave us the good news that the huge Gulf oil spill, which was pumping just millions and millions of gallons of this crude oil into the Gulf of Mexico, the government comes along a couple days ago and says, hey, we have some really good news. You know, it's all evaporated or dissipated or been broken down by the, you know, the molecules and the bacteria and the things that break down things in the ocean. We got some great news. Like, most of it is gone. You thought it was going to be a huge environmental disaster, and look, it's almost all gone. And then yesterday, some independent researchers, oceanic types, got out there and said, well, you know what? You're right, except for the 22-mile-long stretch of oil that's a mile wide and a half-mile deep that extends from the oil rigs southwest into the Gulf of Mexico. Friggin' liars. By the way, Vice President Joe Biden is in St. Louis right now as we are recording this. And he's speaking in front of the Democratic committee about whether or not they're going to move the convention here or establish convention here in a couple of years. It's a short speech. You know, Biden is pretty long-winded. It's a short speech. I have a copy of the speech right here. Hello, St. Louis, and thank you for coming. We're fucked. Thank you. Drive safely. Have a nice day. The CDC says smoking scenes in movies has been on the decline since about 2005. Last year, about half of the 145 films that they studied had no smoking at all. For kids' movies, 61% of the movies did not depict smoking, but that still means like close to half of the movies do. But I guess they are figuring that we're making progress. We'll see. Did you see that video of Joe Perry? Steven Tyler sort of, turns his back on him, and Joe Perry gives him a little hip check. He thinks he's not going to be seen, but somebody got video of it. And Steven Tyler just ends up in the crowd face first. He's okay. His lips broke the fall. A new study out of Australia says that girls who have a younger brother lose their virginity almost 2 years later than girls who don't have a younger brother. Research believes that because older daughters have a strong instinct to raise their brothers, and it makes the girls more responsible. By the way, this offer not good in Mississippi, Arkansas, and West Virginia. Album sales have hit another new low. The music industry as a whole sold just under 5 million CDs last week. That is the fewest since they started tracking things back in 1991. The previous low was last May. The biggest week goes back to December of 2000, when the music industry sold 45.4 million albums, compared to just over 4 million last week. Where'd the other 40 million go? Well, people are getting their music off the internet now. They're sharing files. iTunes, just buying the songs that they want. CDs are pretty much dead. And then also, I look back at what was popular at that time. The soundtrack for Oh Brother, Where Art Thou won a bunch of Grammy Awards. Alice in Chains, Elton John had an album out. Evanescence, Genesis, the Spice Girls, Tim McGraw. And it was Christmas time, and it was pre-9/11, so maybe that had something to do with it. I don't know, when I was a little younger and I was single, it didn't happen very often, but every once in a while, you'd wake up in the morning and look across in the bed and go, what the hell was I thinking? What was I thinking? How drunk was I? Well, now scientists in England have come up with an explanation for beer goggles. Less attractive people start looking better with every beer because alcohol dulls your ability to recognize symmetry. We as human beings like symmetrical faces, and crooked faces start looking better and better the more you drink. Scientists did that. Nicole Kidman and Keith Urban are married, and they're rich. They're loaded. They're so rich and so loaded, they don't even know what to do with their money anymore. So they bought an apartment in Manhattan for $10 million, and one of the things you get with it is an elevator that takes you and your car up to the floor you live on. So now you're just driving off the street, you pull into like a little garage, door closes behind you, and your car go up to the 10th floor. Heaven forbid sun should ever hit the skin of Nicole Kidman. That is one white girl. All right. I had a conversation yesterday with Super Dave Osborne. I had left him a message about 2 weeks ago, and he called me yesterday. He's doing great. He's going to do another episode of Curb Your Enthusiasm. And I said, well, this is great, because after all of those years with the Smothers Brothers and Sonny and Cher and Bizarre, the TV show with John Biner, and, of course, the Super Dave Osborne show, television appearances, this, Curb Your Enthusiasm gets back to some of your roots, which are largely, improvisational. He said, it's all improvisational. They barely go in with a script at all. They're doing this off the top of their heads. He also told a funny story about, he was in the movie Ocean's 13, not as Super Dave, as Bob Einstein, his real name, the brother of Albert Brooks. Most of you probably know that by now. But he was in Ocean's 13. He had a scene with Al Pacino, and in the middle of the scene, Al Pacino's cell phone goes off. Huge no-no if you're an actor. But it's Pacino, and he was going through his custody battle with Beverly D'Angelo, and he had to take the call. When you're Pacino, you can do things that other actors can't get away with. I don't understand why this is or why people can't stop it, but it turns out now that the McAfee antivirus people, the people who get that software for your computer, have said that if you Google any of these names, what's probably going to happen is that your entire computer and all of its information is going to be compromised, and you're a candidate for identity theft and a computer virus and just a whole can of worms. So whatever you do, don't search for Cameron Diaz, Julia Roberts, Jessica Biel, Gisele Bündchen, Brad Pitt, Adriana Lima, Jennifer Love Hewitt or Nicole Kidman, Tom Cruise, Heidi Klum, Penelope Cruz, and Anna Paquin. If you do that, you're risking all sorts of problems with your computer. The most popular summer driving song in England is Sweet Home Alabama. Anybody want to explain that to me? Number 2, Walking on Sunshine, Katrina and the Waves. Summer of '69, Bryan Adams is on the list. What else we got here? Good Vibrations, Beach Boys, Love Shack, B-52s. Switch into Glide by the Kings. Hey, come on. That's the best driving song. All right, Video Village for this week. We'll be putting new stuff up for you on Monday, by the way. But we have our 1997 interview with Woody Allen up on the Video Village. JC's Wayback Machine goes back to 1996 when they were debuting the radio station Alice. And they ran a TV commercial. We have that for you. Not necessarily the news this week is Steve Spagnuolo, head coach of your St. Louis Rams. JC's Eye Candy, you've heard me going on and on about how Channel 5's news department and sports department and weather department just seems to be disintegrating right in front of our very eyes. The once unbelievably dominant TV station. I don't know what's going on over there, but we have some graphic examples of what I've been talking about. Please go look at Eye Candy. It's right below you. You'll see what I'm talking about. That's it. I don't know what I'm going to do over the weekend. What are you going to do? We'll have some more stuff for you on Monday. In the meantime, that's it. JC's Daily Dose for Friday, August 20th, 2010. A cooperative venture with Mind Active in beautiful downtown Brentwood. In the meantime, we've beaten this one to death. Have a good one. See you later. Bye.